Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, one, welcome all to more Ace Attorney Investigations. And before anybody asks, okay, I'll just get this straight off. Talk about this before screen. Yes, I did watch Switch, the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Direct. Well, I didn't watch it this morning, but I watched it, and you might be wondering, Andrew, are you gonna hold off like 3 months to finishing the Ace Attorney Investigations too? Nope. Okay, I already started it. Okay, I would feel bad to like have to drop it, play something else, and get up again. I don't want to. Okay, I know the Ace Attorney Investigations is coming out literally on my birthday, nonetheless. That's how I'll always remember what day it is. The day of the release. I should say that. Yeah, that's how I'll remember the day of the release of the. I tend to not forget stuff and I was super happy when I saw it, but I'll tell you what, I wasn't as excited as I was when the Apollo because in defense, by the time the book comes out, I'll probably have finished the investigation anyway. So, but don't worry, I will be buying it because I want like official copies of both games. So I will be buying the book and probably in fact if I remember it. It's great that after 13 years, they finally released Investigations 2 in English. But I also saw like those stuff on Twitter where their characters' names literally were changed. Like, no, don't do that, okay? There are English translations of these games. You do not have to go out and change them. The names are great already. Don't do it. Like I said, the biggest reason why I wanted to play it, the biggest reason why I want to be buying them is so that way, I have copies of them. Support the franchise and so here. But the also other reason is too, it'd be really nice to be able to play them like in that style that looks so cool. But like that's the biggest selling point for me is that you could play the pixel art that we have. Yeah, that's but yeah, but I will probably be using the collection for future Turnabout replays. So speaking of Turnabout replays, next year's Turnabout replay will be one of the investigation episodes because I don't believe I will even reach Steel Destiny by the end of this year. So I can't really do the Apollo Justice trilogy if I haven't played all the Apollo Justice trilogy episodes. That's why I'm hoping I can get both Steel Destiny and Spirit of Justice by the end of next year. But I also want to make sure that I'm giving playtest the time Steins Gate time. By the way, I have been playing Steins Gate off camera and goddamn, I was great about that game darker than the first one. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of my dark. Like, no, yes, I am excited for the Investigation collection. Super pumped that it's coming out on my birthday. Will I be streaming it on my birthday? Nope. Actually, for fact, I don't even stream on my birthday this year. My birthday's a Friday, so. And the birthday bash is, I don't know, I may be making plans with one of my moms, so who knows? It would be, I don't know, there will be a plan for it. I'll get to that game in like 3 years. That's why when I see like games that are when I see games that have like release dates for like not like another year or so, I'm like, I can put it on the list now and I'll get to it like a year after it comes out. Woo! Anyways, let's play Investigations 2. Get a little taste of what the collection is all about. I had half of mine to title the stream playing a Capcom's early birthday present to me. Because I feel like since it comes out on my birthday, it feels like it's Capcom just gave me an early birthday present. Obviously. Continue. March 29th, 10:12 a.m. Prison Courtyard. The courtyard. Depending on what we find here, the entire incident could become clear. However, there's nothing left here. Yesterday. Isn't there one more possibility? The will in the courtyard. Well, in the courtyard. It's possible the body was dropped down from there. In other words, the body being dropped down below the well, then moved to the workroom. Could only have been done during the show. And the only one who could have done it is Simon Keyes. Was the body dropped down the well or not? This could be a decisive clue that we need to reach the truth of the matter. Before I can continue with the investigation, I should organize my evidence. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Also, it's a lot of my ears. I need to turn that down. Let's see here. Hey! There's a grate here! The well has run dry after all. They even put a lock on it. Like packing is one of my specialties. Wanna see? There's absolutely no need for you to show off. Oh, come on, don't be like that. Whoa! What happened, Kay? The lock is broken. Judging from the looks of it, it feels like it was broken some time ago. So the lock was broken. This means that anyone could have dropped the body down this well. According to Judge Courtney's reasoning, Mr. Keyes murdered Knightley in the courtyard, and then, during the show, he disposed of the body in the well. You think so? Did he really use this well to move the body? Yeah, I know. Let's get missiles to help us out again. He should be able to track the scent of the body. Good idea. Let me contact Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Detective Gumshoe here. Detective, I have a favor to ask of you. We would like for you to bring Missile to the prison courtyard. Sounds like you need the help of us. 7 secret weapons again, huh, sir? I thought Missile belonged to the police department. And also, I would like for you to contact the witness. Please contact Regina Berry of the Berry Big Circus and bring her here. Roger that, sir. I'll bring them over in a flash. So, what should we do while we wait for Gummy? How about some hide and seek? What are you talking about, Kay? There's nowhere to hide here. I don't think that's the issue. Oh, come on. Okay, during times like this, isn't it your time to shine? Oh, that! You want me to recreate the crime scene? Huh? How do you do that? You see for yourself. The Great Thief's secret weapon. Little Thief! We did get to use Little Thief! I thought we did. Oh man, I was hoping we get to use Little Thief. Whoa! That's it! Scream float in midair. What are you doing, Kay? I'm entering the information needed for the simulation. Mr. Shields, this Little Thief is a tool that can recreate a crime scene based on the information it is given. Should I set it how it was the place when we came here yesterday? Yes, I believe they were in the middle of taking down the set. We didn't pay enough attention to the as well, so it's possible we may have missed a clue. Leave it to me. I'll take a picture of the place too. There, and there. Data entry complete. Now let's set the projection to maximum output. Dark skies of the evening when no other bird dares to take wind. One alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of the real modern-day Robin Hood. What? What just happened? I recreated the courtyard from yesterday based on the information I entered. This tool was a tool the previous Yasagata used. It sufficed to run simulations to practice stealing things. But used in this manner, we can expect the crime scene as it was in the past. Oh, but it's still only a recreation based on what information we have. I can recreate what I don't have. I can't recreate what I don't have information for. If my information is incorrect, the recreation could come up strange too. In this case, since Kay had the photo, there should be no problems. Now let's begin investigating. Since it's a recreation, you can examine things just the way you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. Yes, I know. First, I should start with that well. No, I shouldn't. Just pushing Kay along for the ride. No big deal or anything. What was that elephant's name again? She's Askeet, the Asian elephant. Ah, that's right. Easy name to remember. Is it? I forgot it until it was mentioned again. Maybe they couldn't think of a good name, so they gave her the name that's easy to remember. Oh, just like how every Ace Attorney character is just a bad pun! Or most of the Ace Attorney characters' names. Mr. Edgeworth, what a terrible thing to say about poor Askeet. This crate. No, there are tires to attach to it, so I guess it's a cart. Just once I'd like to ride one of these bad boys down a hill. Ah! Or maybe one of those office chairs with wheels. Doesn't sound like fun. What is she talking about? This pond where the warden keeps her pet alligator. I guess those fish bones are the remains of her last meal. I don't think an alligator would have such clean bones. But she has a very refined looking face. I couldn't tell at all. That's because I'm a girl who's good with faces. Why don't I feel the least bit jealous? Don't worry, I don't feel the least bit jealous either, Edgeworth, and I'm also a girl. What an impressive barbed wire fence. It really gets my seat blood boiled. I wouldn't touch it, though. You'd be in for quite a shock. I wonder what's on the other side of the fence. Looks like the warden's office. I heard she keeps even more animals over there. Why don't they just turn this place into a zoo already? Because you gotta keep the prisoner somewhere, Edgeworth. His door is locked. Want me to pick the lock? Success is not guaranteed, though. If need be, I'll just borrow a key. Jeez, I thought it was finally a turn for me to steal the spotlight. Don't even think about stealing anything in my presence. Not even the spotlight. I want to talk to Ray. I want to talk to Uncle Ray here. A great secret weapon. See. But isn't this bad, using a thief's tool in an investigation? Don't make such a scary face. It's alright, Uncle Ray's lips are sealed. For the truth, right? The evidence may very well already have been destroyed. In order to recreate the crime scene, we need to hear her help. So why so serious? It's something like this. Simple smile will suffice. Yes, thank you very much. Hey, look, you got the smile. I'll take care of the logic. This is the stage where they put on the animal show. If I put it on the Great Sea Show, I wonder if anyone would come. I'm pretty sure the police would show up. These were used for the audience sitting during the show. Folding up all those chairs must have been such a chore. Here. Hello, hello. What do you mean the better Ace Attorney investigations too? I'm just curious. Like, I mean, I'll be real with you, yes, I've seen stuff online already, but is that so? Don't tell me you've never tidied. I'm gonna need you to be a little more specific. Because I would, from what I've seen so far, other than, you know, the whole name butchering thing, it's not the worst. Mainly because you can still play the pixel art if you don't want the new graphics. I delegated the task to others in the past. Mr. Edgeworth, you should try doing something more manual labor once in a while. I'll look into it. Let's examine the area around though as well. It holds the key to this case. This is a metal weight. It weighs. Hard to see in the recreation. Okay? Do you remember? I think it was 33 pounds. Yeah, I guess we can make fun of them. Maybe if we bully Capcom enough, they won't fuck with the names. Okay? We as the Ace Attorney community must come together and bully Capcom into making sure that the names are right. You know? That doesn't seem to be directly related to the circus. It's a sturdy hemp rope. It looks like the ropes they use for a tug of wars. I'm not gonna play tug of war with you. I didn't even say anything yet! There's a metal stake attached to the end of the rope. You use these to pin down the tent. You can't when you go camping. It doesn't seem like they need this for the performance. I mean, here's the thing too. When does the Ace Attorney ever care about the names of their characters? I was just making a joke about that earlier. But it's like, seriously. We couldn't have the actual names that we know them by, like the people who actually have played Investigations 2. Like, Are they completely blind that there's already an English translation of the Investigations 2? This is why, like I said, we need to come together as a community and bully Capcom so much that they change the names to what they're supposed to be. Alright, spread the news. Pass on the word. Okay? You can even clip me saying that to rally our people. And the people. Yes, of course, yes. Like, I could be the leader of our bullying, though, yeah, I probably won't be, like, talking publicly about it unless I'm on stream. But like I said, if we bully them enough, they could, in fact, change them back. Or change them to what they're supposed to be. These are some pulleys here. They don't appear to be the pulleys that were used to lift the bucket from the well. May I can examine. Oh. The well was behind the stage. That means only a few people could have accessed the dump. Few people would have access to dump the body in the well during the performance. This isn't looking good for Mr. Keys. These things around the well, what are they used for? They don't even seem related to the animal show. I agree. We can ask Miss Berry about it later. That's all the information we can gather for now. The detective should be here soon, too. Okay, go ahead and shut down Little Steve. Alright, returning to the area to normal. Investigation complete. Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Hey, speaking of Gummy, Detective Gumshoe. That was quick. Couldn't keep you waiting, sir. Too long, sir. Thanks for coming together along too, Regina. No problem. It sounds like fun, so I skipped practice to come here. Thank you for your cooperation. First, Detective, let's have Missile do some tracking. No problem, sir. Hey, Missile! Over here, pal! Oh, hey, what's eating you, pal? Sit over here. What's the matter? Looks like he's scared of something, sir. Alligator! I guess he's scared about the alligator, sir. Good grief. Looks like Missile won't be much help to us. So what should we do, Miles? Maybe we can ask Miss Berry for help. What is it? What is it? Is there something I can do? Do you want me to teach Allie a trick? Actually, she probably could. No, I just need you to tell me about the conditions of the courtyard during the show. Looks like it's my time to shine again. Yes, if you please. Alright, that should do it. I'm starting the recreation now. Recreation complete. This time you can see how the courtyard was during the animal show. This should be around the time the body was dropped down the well. Wow, cool! It's just like magic! It's not magic. I just recreated the scene based off the information you gave us. See? Look over there. backstage area is missing. Well, Regina didn't help with preparations, so she doesn't really know how it was set up. I get it. You can't recreate what you don't have the info for, huh? I'm sorry, but because Simon took care of setting everything up. Don't worry yourself, none. Regina Pie, Miles is the one at fault here. Why me? No, seriously, why Edgeworth? It's Simon who fucked up and not letting Regina help. Mr. Edgeworth, I've recreated this show progress, but can also change it to how it was earlier when it was being taken down. I see. So we can examine the courtyard during the show and after the show. We can freely switch between the two different stages. To change the recreation, select the little thief on the bottom screen. Now, let's begin the investigation. Okay, so no. At this point in time, we still don't have enough information about this area. That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. Please steal some information. I don't steal information. I obtain it through my investigation and logic. I prefer to act first before thinking. You may act before thinking, as long as you don't interfere with the investigation. I wouldn't want to arrest you. Do you come here often, Regina? Yes, I have many friends here. I love this place. New friends, old friends, everyone's a friend here. Yesterday, Miss Warden introduced me to a new friend, Lil Allie. Well, we know she has a friend. His name is Acro. Yes, I am referring to Turnabout Big Top. The alligator who lurks in the pond courtyard. That pond. If you get too close, it feels like you're gonna get gulped. I don't think it's little Allie who would do such a thing. Her stomach wasn't feeling well yesterday. I'm worried. Aren't you all worried too? Right? Yes, of course. We're all worried, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't drag me into this. Mr. Edgeworth, you got that look on your face, like you want to use my secret weapon, sir. Missile isn't in the mood, but I got my fishing rod ready to go. Or would you prefer the metal detector? I have never seen the detective's eyes sparkle like that. If need be, I'll let you know. For now, just stand by. Not exactly a shining example of perfect line of logic. Alright. You can see he's totally scared, sir. I wanted him to track a scent, but it looks like it won't be possible. These chairs are lined up in an orderly fashion. I guess there was a few empty seats during the performance. This inmate interfere in the closeness between the stage and the audience. It reminds me of the karaoke tournament I entered when I was a kid. Karaoke tournament. I was the runner-up. I'm not in the mood to sing right now. Don't tell me you actually sang that song. Of course, the song rocks. I'm surprised she actually made it to the finals. Did she steal second place? No, if she did steal the first. No, if she didn't steal first place, she must have gotten there fair and square. She said it was also when a kid when she wasn't too interested in being when she probably wasn't too interested in being a great thief. Let us talk to. Part of me wants to start just name dropping them as like what they're going to be called in the official English release. So what do you got, Eddie? What do you got, Uncle Ray? A great C secret weapon. A C. But isn't this bad? Using a C's tool to aid an investigation? Don't make such a scary face. It's alright, Uncle Ray's lips are sealed. Or, Uncle Eddie's lips are sealed. It's for the truth, right? I will probably not get used to their official English names, okay? Unless we bully Capcom, okay? We need to band together, everyone. Okay? If you are a fan of Ace Attorney, you must help us band together to bully Capcom so much that their names will forever be right, like in this English translation of a game that came out 13 years ago. Yevon's may well be already destroyed. In order to recreate the crime scene, we need her help. Why so serious? It sounds like this a simple smell will suffice. Yes, thank you very much. It's the cage of the Asian elephant, Eskeek. The elephant is performing on stage right now, so the cage is empty. I wonder how Eskeek entered the courtyard. What do you mean, how? The entrance here is human size. And this fence is electrified. I don't think an elephant would enter from there. They could just turn off the electricity. If they did that, all the inmates would escape. I doubt anyone would escape while an elephant was entering. I wonder how she came in. This requires some thought. She seems to be enjoying her little brain teaser. I should just let her be. Oh, this crate was empty in the recreation earlier. That's right. It was also empty in the picture I took. I'm sorry. That information is wrong. What do you mean? The crate contained Eskeek's food. In the morning of the day of the show, all the apples were gone. I totally forgot about that. I'm sorry. Missing apples, huh? I should make a note of it. A love story between an elephant and a tiger. I really wanted to see that. I also want to see Simon in action. Simon is really amazing, especially the part where he gets blown away. Blown away. That's the scene in question. That is the point. The suspect is the role of the villain. It's blown away by the hairlines of burning love and he makes his exit. After being blown away, the suspect disappears from the stage. Are you saying the crime was committed during that time? Do you know how long he called for the stage? Let me think. About 15 minutes or so. Just as Courtney said. But isn't it dangerous to be blown away by an elephant? Yeah, it's alright. Eskeek is very gentle. That's not who we're worried about here. During the first few practices, he was having trouble getting blown away. Then all of a sudden, he was able to be sent flying beautifully. He might be using up some sort of device, but it's amazing. A device. Do you know anything about it? I have no idea. Simon handled it all by himself. This is going to be This is going to be very interesting. Mr. Keyes used this device for his son. Maybe the tools around the well are connected to this. Okay, I'd like you to recheck the tools lying around the well yesterday. Can you change the recreation to after the show scene? Roger! The tools lying around the well, could they have been part of his device? It seems very likely. I wonder if it's possible to recreate the device. If you ask Mr. Keys, he'll be able to tell you how the device was put together. Alright, I'll go ask him. Mr. Etris, I asked him about it. And? Did you find out how the device works? He used a rope to hang some weights the weight on the pulley. The weights were suspended inside the well. When he ran the ropes through the two more pulleys and tied the ends of the rope to his own body, he used the force of the falling weights to send him flying. But what stopped the weights from falling on their own? In order to prevent that from happening, he used a stopper. Miss Berry didn't know anything about the well. That means Miss Key removed the stopper by himself. Correct. That's why a second rope was needed. This rope was attached to the stopper and was pulled from the stage. The stopper would be removed, and the weight would drop down as well. I'm definitely going to steal this idea. The Yatsugasser won't lose something like this. Don't waste your time. Circus acts require extreme, extensive training. Even if you steal the device, it won't do you any good. Then I'll train as well. Before you start training, could you first update the recreation? Oh yeah, you want me to recreate the device that was used in the performance. First, let's return to during the show scene. Next, I'll input the information from the device on the well. Now we can recreate the device Simon made. So this is the device that Mr. Keys used. Simon was sure gutsier than he looks. Using the falling weights and the force to launch himself during his performance. Indeed, he would have to drop enough weights to exceed his own body weight in order to provide the strength needed to pull him off the stage. I have watched the announcement for the collection. I just made in my announcement that yes, I seen it, and if I was considering holding off playing the game until it came out, but I was like, that is like 2.5 months away. Literally comes out on my birthday, and so yeah, I've seen it, and like I said, the only thing I'm kind of mad about is how they're changing everybody's names in this game. I didn't. I'll be real with you. I was excited, but I was not excited as I was when they announced the Apollo Justice trilogy last year. So, but needless to say, I'm absolutely pre-ordering this as soon as I can because I actually not me looking into it. If I can pre-order it right now, I probably can. It's like I said, it comes out in like 2.5 months or so. Oh, and it's only gonna be like $40. Nice. Add to cart. Yeah, my cart. And this is me pre. Yes, this is me. I don't. I'm not in this for. I'm not in it for the. I'm not in it for the bonuses, really. I just. I like the idea. I like just knowing that I don't have to worry about when it comes up because I'm going to be quite busy. Yanfei? I know I love Ace Attorney to death, but I would definitely have Yanfei as my as my as my lawyer instead of Phoenix. Hold on. Yep. Well. All right. Pre-ordered. Awesome. Now I can replay both games when it comes out. Mr. Keys used this well to perform his stunt where he gets blown away by the elephant. He used those two ropes quite skillfully. Looking at this weight, you can really feel the weight of Simon's hard work on your chest. Is that so? I don't feel anything at all. Aw, that's too bad. If it was an actual weight, I'd immediately put it on your chest, Mr. Edgeworth. And I'll do everything in my power to stop you. This sheet. It's the same as the one from the workroom. Is it the same one as from the workroom? Yes. Why is there also one here? I wonder why there's one here. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, are you deep in thought? Why does it feel like she's stealing my thoughts? She's a thief after all. Mr. Keys uses well. A rope and a pulley. That's how it should be. A rope and a pulley. A thief and a treasure. It's a perfect match. Objection. A thief and a handcuffs are a perfect match. You know? Guess I should bust out the logic again. Because surely Simon doesn't weigh 33 pounds. Surely not, right? Huh? Isn't it strange? What's wrong, pal? Haven't you not noticed, detective? What's strange about the weight is the number. What's strange is the number of weights. In other words, it's not heavy enough. In order to pull up Mr. Key's body weight. You're right, sir. But where did the rest of the weights disappear to? Looks like it's time to use my 7 secret weapons, sir. Alright. Number 5, is it? Because, let's see. The analyzer thing was 4. The fishing pole is 3. Missiles 2. And the metal detector is 2. If necessary, I'll let the detective know. Oh, duh. Metal detector. Detective Gumshoe, it's time for your secret weapon. Yes, sir! Wrong one! I was hoping for the metal detector. I don't get many chances to use this one. Doesn't even work in Turnabout Goodbyes. And we know that. And plus, to be fair, Before we begin the search, let me go over how to use the metal detector, sir. This metal detector uses sound. And this meter to let you know how close you are to the metal object. When you get closer to a metal object, the metal detector will have a bigger reaction, like this. When you get for the biggest reaction, give me the order to examine that spot, sir. Now, let's see what you've got. It's just a metal fence. It's just a metal fence. And that's basically how you search for metal objects. Just give me the instructions on where you want to search, sir. Yeah, there's a reaction here too, sir. Let's check it out. Oh. I found these in the clump of grass. I found them already?! These are the weights used for that hosting device. We're getting intentionally. Were these intentionally hidden? There's 4 of them in all, sir. With that many weights, it'd be enough to lift Simon. He would have to be at least like 130 pounds. But he kind of looks like he's like 130 pounds. So the other weights that were used for the device. Wait, no. So that means there would be 5 in total. So that means whoever was being trying to be lifted must be at least 150-ish pounds. Why were they hidden all over though? All over here though. See, I'm really earning my keep today, aren't I, sir? Ah! The alligator! That scared me, pal. Huh? What's the matter, detective? Looks like the metal detector is reacting to this alligator. Really? Why? Are you sure it isn't just reacting to the weights? It's a different reaction, sir. And it's definitely coming from the alligator. It's gone. It looks like it's scared of us. I don't think so, Kay. Huh? If anything, I think Allie looks a little under the weather. Allie. I suppose that was what Wanda called it. She didn't eat any of the food that Warden gave her yesterday. I think she might be eating something bad. So I guess the metal detector could be reacting to whatever the alligator ate. Oh, maybe she ate one of those weights. I doubt that's even an alligator can ingest a 33-pound weight. But what could the metal detector be reacting to? And regardless, why were the weights hidden? Maybe we should take another look at the device on the well. Okay, I'd like you to recreate the after the show scene again. Alright, leave it to me. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious looking nook and cranny. There's some pulleys here. They don't appear to be the pulleys that was used to lift the bucket from the well. This piece of evidence shows the contradiction within the crime scene. Could you be more precise about where that contradiction is? I also like to hear you explain in more detail, sir. Around here somewhere. Please be more specific, sir. This device. Could just be me, but it feels like something is missing. This rope was part of these during the show. To be able to create a device just on one piece of rope, Simon is surprisingly handy. Hmm? One piece of rope. It seems that there is a contradiction within this device. Deduce! Object! Eureka! This recreation in the device we saw earlier is a major discrepancy. One of the ropes is missing. You're right! Without it, the device won't work. I wonder what happened to it. Where did the missing rope disappear to? It's possible that we hold the piece of evidence that shows where the rope went. Eh? Which piece of evidence shows where the missing rope went? This rope we found in it was the dead body. Ah, it could be. Yes, it could be the other piece of rope that was used here. Then does that mean this rope was attached to the weight? However, the weight was not one of these metal weights. These weights were hiding in the grass and replaced with something else. If they were replaced, then what was used to create the weight? What do you think, Kay? Maybe a dead body or so? It was tied to the rope that we found in the workroom. If we can recall that, then the answer should be clear. The weight was dropped on place. The weight Mr. Key had prepared was the dead body. What dropped down the well was none other than Knightley's dead body. Eh? Mr. Knightley's body was used as the weight? Yes, the weights were replaced by Knightley's body. Mr. Key used the device to launch himself off the stage. When the rope that was tied to him was undone and let go, both the body and the rope dropped down the well. The rope wasn't used to tie up Knightley. It was used to suspend him inside the well. That also explains why the other weights were hidden. Ah! So no one would find out that the weights were replaced with the body. Yes, the killer was the one who hid those weights. But Miles, wasn't Knightley boy stabbed in the neck with the murder weapon? If he was suspended in the well, wouldn't there be blood in the bottom of the well? The killer was also aware of that. That's why he used this item. Which item did the killer use in order to not leave traces of blood behind? The sheet we found near the body. It was used to wrap up the body. I see. Looks all like the old pieces are starting to come together, eh? But that means the body definitely came from the well. If that's the case, wouldn't that mean Simon is the killer? No, that's not necessarily the case. Eh? But yesterday Judge Courtney said if Mr. Keyes was the killer, wouldn't he needed would he needed to set up such a elaborate device? I guess you have a point. Mr. Key was only responsible for dropping the body during the show. In other words, it doesn't matter where the real killer was or was not doing during the show. Until now, this placed doubt in the people who did not watch the animal show. It's true. We also suspected Mr. Dogan. The killer's true intent was to make us think that the murder occurred during the show. In other words, they used the device on the device to create a fake. In other words, they used the device on the well to create a fake alibi. Miss Berry, do you know when this device was on the well was set up? Let me think. The day before the show. I think it was at night. We all started preparing at 9 p.m. We finished around midnight. The killer replaced the weights as the dead bodies afterwards. Did Dogan know about the device? No, not even he knew about the device. It wouldn't be possible for him to use it. You can't teach a dog to suspend the body in a well. In other words, Dogan is not the killer. That's what I've been saying since the beginning. It's worth a shot. Hmm. The apples in the crate were probably eaten by a Seek. But that's strange. I remember leaving the crate out of reach from a Seek's nose. Are you certain? Yes. The crate was still full of apples on the night before the show. Then the cart was moved here. It was moved where her nose could reach it. With that many apples, it could not have been moved by the wind. Most likely, the crate was moved by a person. Prior to the show, the cart's position was already changed and the apples were all eaten. It appears to be correct information. Please update the simulation. Update the simulation parameters, okay? All right, I'll use the new information to recreate the scene. First, let's return to during the show scene. I'll recreate the scene within the crate that actually is in its place. Recreation complete. No wonder why I thought it smelled like animals. It contained the elephant's food. So this was filled with Esseek's apples. That's right. On the day before the show, it was full of apples. In the in the morning, they were all gone. Oh, did you think something? I'm thinking you could say that. This pond is where the warden Miranda keeps her pet alligator. I guess those fish bones are the remains of her last meal. I don't think an alligator would leave such a clean bones. She has a very fun-looking face. I couldn't tell at all. Well, that's because I'm a girl who's good with faces. Why do I? Hey, why don't I feel the least bit jealous? It's worth a shot. Connecting logic together. Okay. The crate was moved the night before the show. The body was also switched the night before the show. I don't think it was just a coincidence. Keeping that in mind, the question now becomes, why did the cart move? The cart used to be in front of that door. I can think of one reason why. Someone opened that door. Alright, let's hurry up and... The door is locked. Let's ask a guard. Hey, Mr. Guard! Yes, what is it? That was fast. You there. Where's the key to this door? The warden's in charge of it. I'll get it from her right away. The warden's in charge of the keys here. Without the warden's permission, this door cannot be opened. I wonder who the killer is. Oh, it's not like I suspected her since like the beginning or anything. Actually, I did. I don't know if I made that clear to you guys or not. Thank you very much. It's a circuit breaker panel. This must be the breaker room. On the night before the show, somebody came into this room. I wonder why they would come here. I don't think anyone would confuse the breaker room for the break room. It was definitely to operate the circuit breakers. So someone came here to shut off the powers or something. Was there anything that had its power shut off? What could have shut off by the breaker? security camera footage had a 3-hour gap. Ah, I see. The circus breakouts from the security cameras were tripped. It's highly possible. Was this the killer's handiwork? As the cameras on, it'd be easier to move about. The killer would have a major advantage. I knew it! If that's the case, the killer was the person who tripped the wire breaker. The person in charge of the keys to the break room is... Could it be? Deactivating the recreation. Investigation complete. I'm the first to the scene, as always. We've been here for a while. Good morning, Mr. The Best. Oh, wait, no. Mr. Winner. What? How did you get here before me? Greetings, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I see you have arrived early. Or maybe it was you who are late, Judge Courtney. I have many matters which require my attention. I have no time to waste, unlike a certain prosecutor who was taking off the case. Oh, my apologies. I have forgotten that you were assisting the defense attorney. An assistant can never be the best. You're fallen like the rest. You just say whatever you like, don't you? Let us begin our examination of the courtyard, Sebastian. All right, I'll call the men over. That will be unnecessary. What? We have already finished the investigation of the courtyard. You have been bested. Bested? Me? Judge Courtney? Your reasoning from yesterday. Watch me shatter it to pieces. I would advise you to choose your words more carefully. Have you forgotten that the fate of your badge rests in my hand? I have enough of such correlation. Can't you think some things over? Can't you think of some other way to threaten me that doesn't involve my badge? Despite my repeated warnings, you showed no signs of reflection. It seems I must remind you once more. The Prosecutorial Investigation Committee cannot leave someone such as yourself unchecked. Neither the fate of my badge nor the actions of the committee will impede my progress. Proving Mr. Keyes' innocence, that is all that concerns me. Your words are like those of a defense attorney. If you are willing to go that far, then I will show no leniency. In the name of the goddess of law, I shall turn your word against you. And in that moment, you will forfeit the title of prosecutor. You shall regret this. I aired my reasoning with you the day before. Since Mr. Albert did not see the body when he passed through the tunnel, it could have only been dropped down the well during the show. The only one who could have performed such an act is the suspect. Naturally, you have evidence to support your reasoning. Of course she does! Who do you think she is? Earlier, I received the official observatory report. Babysitting that kid must be difficult. It really does feel like she's just his babysitter. He's like, Mom, the big boy won't let me investigate the crime scene. Mom! That's kind of how Sebastian sounds. Like, Mom, the big prosecutor's bullying me again. I don't think she's his mom, but because obviously the age gap, they are definitely not mother son. Because, yeah, but it definitely does feel like that way. Like he's just like a bratty kid who tries to get the attention of the baby. The time of death was the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the day before the show. The cause of death remains unchanged. A stab wound to the 4 inches deep. Simon Keyes was not present on stage for the period of 15 minutes. There was sufficient time for him to drop the body down the well. He has not investigated the courtyard yet. That means, it seems there's a hole in your argument. You seem quite confident. Can you present evidence to support your claim? Of course I can, and I will. So you continue to believe Mr. Keyes is the murderer, just as you continue to speak as if he is not. Do you have any decisive evidence? Do you know the identity of the true criminal? You do realize you need proper evidence too. I am a representative of the goddess of law. My words are her holy orders. Indeed, if I should say something is black, it is black. If I say something is white, it is white. So what would you call gray? If you wish to disprove my words, then present your evidence at once. Since Mr. Albert did not see the body when he passed through the tunnel, couldn't it be a little possible that Albert just failed to notice the body? My Miss Assistant's assistant, did you also enter the hole? Huh? How'd you know? I noticed that there was some mud stuck on your lovely hair ornament yesterday. That's amazing! Your powers of observation would even put a great thief to shame. In the name of the goddess of law, answer me truthfully. If there was a dead body in that tunnel, would it escape your notice? Well, the thing is, yeah, I think I would have noticed something like that. Do you understand now? Mr. Albert did not see the body. It could have only been dropped down during the show. The body was dropped down to the well during the show. I'd like to hear your reasoning for this. The day before the show, Mr. Albert lent the key to Mr. Knightley. The key to Knightley's cell, huh? Mr. Knightley escaped from his cell with the key and entered the cage Mr. Key had prepared. Mr. Key then moved the cage to the courtyard and proceeded to murder Knightley. The next day, when Mr. Albert passed through the tunnel, he did not come across the body. Please wait a minute. That doesn't seem right at all. Wasn't there a sweet smell in the tunnel? Mr. Knightley must have passed through it. Mr. Knightley passed through the tunnel after Mr. Albert did. Mr. Albert passed through the tunnel at the start of the show. However, the body wasn't found until the end of the show. Which is why you believe the body was dropped during the show. Yes, and the only one who could have carried out this act the only one who could have performed such is the suspect. There's no one else who could have committed the murder. I heard that Mr. Barry was present on stage at all times. A great number of prisoners were also watching the show, even the prisoners who did not see it have sufficient alibis. How about the guards? Along with the warden, nearly everyone was watching the show. But there must have been a chance for even one of them to approach the well. During the show, none of the guards left their posts. That much is certain. They all testified as such. Ugh, she left no room for oversight. If you finally admit that only Simon Keyes could have been the criminal, Judge Courtney has not thoroughly examined the courtyard like we have. Well, we didn't kind of let them. So there's a bit of gap in her argument, right? I should review the evidence we obtained in the courtyard. Nope. I cannot fire the assistant. Right. The classic tale of right evidence, wrong statement. Unfortunately for you, Judge Courtney, your argument does not hold any water, just like the well. There was a device set up around the well here. What is this device of which you speak? Are you aware of the stunt that which Mr. Keyes is blown away by the elephant during the show? I haven't. I've heard of it. It would have. It would have been right here before he exits the stage. He tied one end of a length of rope to himself and the other weight to a set of weights. He was able to perform the stunt by dropping these weights down the well. When he has spent the whole place suspended in the air? That's why he has a stopper attached to the weight end. The stopper was removed by pulling another rope. Around the well, we found evidence that the weights were switched with the victims' bodies. This was done by the real killer in order to shift suspicion away from them. Judging from the time of death, the murder was carried out in the early morning of the show. The true criminal had until then, until the time the show was started to set up the device. But didn't Simon Keyes make that thing? And since he was also the one who used it, he's the best suspect. Don't you agree? If Mr. Keyes were the murderer, he would not have needed to do that. Miss Barry. Yes? Was there anyone else who knew of this device he set up? Well, let me see. Since we had to get everything about our show approved by the people here at the prison, I would say that there were others who knew about it. And there you have it. I see. You have indeed performed a thorough investigation, which is why I'm even further perplexed. Why do you not use your efforts for justice? My actions are not just. Who made that decision? You cannot understand even that, even now. Providing support to a defense attorney, despite being a prosecutor, is quite unnatural. This goes against the rules. I'm merely choosing to do what I think is right at this particular time. I have traveled down the road I have chosen. Your comprehension does not matter in the least. However, if anyone intends to interfere, I will show no mercy. Perhaps this is a calling for the goddess of law. If you intend to rebel against her divine will, I will have no choice but to hand down my verdict. Pray heed to my word. I have one more reason to suspect Simon Keyes of murder. If the body came from the courtyard, how was Mr. Knightley brought here from the detention center? Only Simon Keyes could have provided such an opportunity. Because of this fact, I find it most difficult to suspect any other party of this crime. While Simon Keyes was moving supplies for the show, he visited Mr. Knightley's cell. Does that not strike you as odd? Why else would he have brought a large covered crate with him? Oh, that does seem pretty suspicious. Mr. Keyes was merely that kind of person, and it's highly impossible that he carelessly brought it there. If if that is possible, then it also is possible that he was assisting in the escape. Am I wrong? I suppose I must refute her theory with evidence. If the body came from the courtyard, you seem to believe that Knightley was killed in the courtyard. So can you say when he was brought here? On the day of the show, between midnight and 8 a.m. I'm positive it could only have been during that time. So after the rehearsal has ended and before the show began. Most pressing issue is, how was Mr. Knightley brought from the detention center? Are you certain there are no other routes? A trial date has not been determined for Mr. Knightley. Since he was not a prisoner, he could not have easily entered the prison. He would have stood out too much, meaning no one testified seeing him there. Well done. May you be blessed by the goddess of law. As I said, Mr. Knightley was taken into the prison to the less copious matters. Only Simon Keyes could have provided such an opportunity. Are you certain that he was the only person who had the opportunity? Have you forgotten? This is a prison. Due to the constant supervision, it would be impossible to do anything unusual. Then wouldn't it be the same for Mr. Keyes? The warden has shown favor to the Very Big Circus. Simon Keyes is a circus member. Miss Berry's apprentice, no less. It could only have been him. He is able to move about freely within the facility. If it seems that you have forgotten to mention that. The word forget it does not exist in my dictionary. Then it would be prudent for you to add this to your argument. Mr. Key may have been the only person who could move around freely in the prison. But on the day of the murder, there was a gap in time missing in the surveillance records. During that time, anyone could have done as they pleased. Do I have proof of this gap in the surveillance records? Mr. Keyes wasn't the only one who had the opportunity. Who else could it have been but had the opportunity? The timestamps on the security cameras are off by 3 hours. This means there was a 3-hour gap in time. During that time, anyone could have done it. If that was the case, then the murderer would have to create a gap in time intentionally. It would not have been as simple a camera failure. Are you saying that's possible? It's possible if you had access to this. In this courtyard, we found the circuit breaker for the security camera, and it was possible to access the breaker room both before and after the murder. What? Unfortunately, it appears that you have fallen short in your intentions. Mr. Edgeworth hasn't fallen short of anything. So, can you explain how this murderer attained the keys to the breaker room? Oh yeah, that's right. It was locked, wasn't it? The warden hangs on to the keys, right? The breaker room has great importance even in a prison. There is no one who would be able to attain the keys so easily. Well, I can think of someone. What did you say? This person, the murderer, was able to get the keys. They didn't even need to steal it. There can't be anyone like that. Besides, the breaker to the electrified fence in that room too. Only one person could have done this. I didn't want to believe it myself, but I trust that my logic is sound. The person who used the key to enter the breaker room is... The murderer is... Warden Morlanda. Perfect timing. Oh my, what an energetic little puppy. That's because this dog is extremely fond of sweets. It seems to detect a sweet scent on you. Oh, heavens no. Not even wearing perfume or anything of the sort. What the dog detects is the sweet scent of death. How poetic. However, that does not imply that I committed a murder. That's what I think. The warden is the murderer? Mr. Edgeworth, are you serious about your statement? Oh, how amusing. The very thought of a warden committing a murder? It sounds like someone is out of a mystery, something right out of a mystery novel. Something right out of an Ace Attorney game. The only thing I don't understand is a motive. Precisely. Your reasoning is in content. Nothing of the sort. I did not want to believe it myself, but based on the evidence, I have no choice but to believe it. This evidence proves that Warden Rolanda is the murderer. This proves you are the murderer. Treating me like a criminal just because of that, so cruel. That doesn't have anything to do with me. That wasn't it. Oh wait, the body has the scent on it. The smell gave you away. As you can plainly see, someone has taken notice. This police dog. He tracked the sweet smell that came from the body. And right now, he's telling us that the same scent is also on Rodan Rolonda. You're so cruel and cruel me a murder based on something like that. I've accused someone unless. Right. Sure, Steen, darling. It appears that Judge Courtney has reached the same conclusion as I. Mr. Edgeworth, this couldn't have been just a coincidence, could it? The key to the breaker room and the same scent on the body. If it were the only one, it could have been as such. It appears we have reached a conclusion. We should not now listen to what the warden has to say. Indeed, until we do, we cannot close this case. Oh my goodness, everyone is with such scary faces. So I'm the only one who could have been the murderer? That just cannot be. I heard all about the case from Justine Darlin here. Had I had I committed the murder, it would have taken place inside the holding cell. But I couldn't have moved the body. I never went into the prison. I was caught up with my work up until the show. I was stuck in my office. Check up on it if you'd like. You'll find there's no record of me entering the prison. I don't know what reason you had, but I can't say for sure. I cannot be the killer. But Maisel barked at you, pal. You gotta be the culprit. Oh heavens, it's not possible. I've already told you I never went to the prison. If you're thinking I'm lying, why don't you check the records? She wants us to check the records. She does seem confident. For now, all we can do is listen to her and draw any more information. I do hope you understand, Mr. Edgeworth. I heard all about the case from Justine Darling here. From Judge Courtney. Are you too close? Oh, closer fish in water. Are you jealous? Jealous? No, not at all. I'm not. I have no interest in women. On the first day of the investigation, she filled us on the situation. In exchange for our cooperation, she explained the details of the case to us. How could you say? You're so mean. Just say that. You're so mean, Justine Darlin. The truth is the truth. I believe it should be told as such. For some reason, those two seem kind of scary. Don't be scared by women, Edgeworth. It's fine. Not all women are scary. The murder occurred inside the cell. How can you be so certain about that? Well, everywhere else would be under surveillance, right? And the victim's blood was found there too. The blood was when you were struck by Elberg, but I don't think it's necessary to inform her on this fact. Doesn't mean that it's proven. It's proven, you know that. But I see no contradictions in assuming the crime scene was at the detention center. But I couldn't have moved the body. I never went into the prison. You never went into the prison. Do you have proof of this? My, can't you wait for me to finish? I was caught up in my work up until the show. I was stuck in my office. You were in your office the whole time. Nothing strange happened? Nope, nothing at all. Were you looking for something? I'm not too good at tidying up. I always forget where I put everything. The other day, I even lost track of an important piece of evidence. How could you have made such a grave error? If someone were to take something from me, I wouldn't have even noticed it in a year. I guess it will be hard to attack the key to the breaker room. On the day of the incident, I was working in my office and searching for the lost items. In other words, I couldn't have gone to the prison even if I wanted to. Check up on it if you'd like. You'll find there's no record of me entering the prison. You didn't enter the prison from the entrance. But what if there was another route? Oh my, are you suggesting that something like a secret passage? I don't know anything like that exists. It is my firm belief that you did possess an alternate route. That route was neither an entrance nor a secret passage. The route you used from here was the barbed wired fence. You would have moved nightly to your office first. This office leads directly to the garden inside the courtyard. If you moved through here and passed through the barbed wired fence, you would have arrived at the prison without passing through the entrance of the tunnel. Oh, I wonder what Mr. Edgeworth is saying. Haven't you noticed? There's a high voltage currently running through that fence. Yeah, obviously she couldn't pass through it like that. The current to the fence would be switched off at the breaker room, and you were the only one who had the key, Warden Rolanda. Most amusing. However, the breaker room is located on the prison side of the courtyard. How would a warden access it from the detention center? Ah, quite right. I got you there, Mr. Edgeworth. That's... If there's no record of her passing through the prison entrance, it would not have been possible for her to turn off the fence or break. But Warden Rolanda was the only person who had access. Don't let this face you, Miles. But if I don't have a solution for this, she'll get away. Now, Uncle Ray's never said, don't think, you know. It's just not good to be so stubborn about it. That's all. But no matter how you think about it, Warden Rolanda couldn't have done this alone. Couldn't have done it alone, eh? Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you have failed to come up with a new pause. I'm not amused. Interrupting my judgment only to be silent? Without thinking, I just blurted out objection. It just reminds me of the one time in Turnabout Sam. I think it was Turnabout Samurai. Objection! Well, what are you objecting to? I don't know. I was hoping I'd come up with a question while I was objecting. I did not. Alright, anyways. Objection! I had to answer. I won't let this end here. My reasoning is not over yet. So how did she use the breaker without leaving the detention center? It's perfectly possible with this method. What made it possible to turn off the breaker room? It's either she had an accomplice. It was indeed possible for one person, but what if there was two? Exactly, just what I expected from you, Miles. Yes, you had an accomplice on the prison side. Enough. I am disappointed in you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. What's that, pal? You're making fun of Mr. Edgeworth. The inmates at this prison were all wear bracelets. If they go where they please, then if so you've noticed, this is a prison after all. Yeah, model prisoner my ass. Not only the prisoners, but the guards too are under constant scrutiny. So why didn't anyone notice Albert? The only one allowed to move around freely are the animals. And they certainly could have not used the breaker. But it's still possible that a person did it. Excluding the inmates and the guards, what kind of person do you say it was? We can't exclude the inmates and guards just yet. There was only one person, one whose movements were not restricted. This evidence shows that there was someone in the prison who could move around freely. That is, it looks like the bracelets worn by the prisoners. It belongs to a certain model inmate, and it is broken. What? Just who on earth does this belong to? Frank Schwartz, the warden's favorite inmate. Don't you think it's strange? He managed to keep this hidden while he moved around freely in his daily prison life. Golly! When you think about it, it shouldn't be possible. I hazard a guess that it was because he was a special case. Just like the second Duncan in the special cell. The prosecutor's statement is a mere conjecture. You could find out by simply asking Schwartz himself. It is my firm belief that Schwartz and Wanda were partners in crime. Due to their collaboration, another route surfaced. The real Birch why Knightley's body was moved to the prison. There was two obstacles that needed to be dealt with. The security camera in Knightley's cell. And the electric fence in the courtyard. Both of these problems could have been solved with a single stroke. By having Schwartz switch off the breakers in the break room. Mr. Edgeworth, could you wait one moment? Do you still intend to deny it, Warden Rolanda? I give in. I confess. Warden Rolanda! No, this can't be. Yes, it is just as he says. Frank Schwartz and I were partners in crime. No way! You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. Well done, Miles. At least we know who the real culprit cornered. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, Frank operated the breaker, but we were not responsible for Knightley's murder. What? What other reason was to have him operate the switches, the breaker room? Warden Rolanda, whatever do you mean? Judge Courtney, would the goddess of law hear my confession? The goddess of law is merciful. She will absolve you. I was being threatened. That's why I had no choice but to do as I was told. So who is threatening you? Sir Duncan, that assassin. Dogan. It had gone on since that man came to the prison. I will never forget that day. When we were both alone, he suddenly said to me, I have many dogs outside this prison. Dogs? Loyal dogs who obey my every command. I soon realized what Duggan was referring to were not really dogs. His human henchmen. And that's not all he said. You better watch how you treat me. If you don't want you and your family to become dog food. I had no choice. I gave him the special cell. I gave him anything he desired. And anything he desired, You don't mean the supplier? That's right. Anything he ordered, I would deliver to him. An underground dealership. He was the only one who won. I was the one who won over Frankie. It was simple. I just offered him a special privileges within the prison, and these underground dealings. Once a week, in the middle of the night, Frankie would shut off two of the breakers, so I could move him. I could move from my office to the courtyard without being seen by the security camera. I would go past the fence and drop the goods down to where near the well near the prison, and then I'd sprinkle this perfume over it. So that's the true identity of the sweet scent. The scent of the perfume was a signal a signal for Dojin's dog. After picking up that scent, it would carry the goods to Dojin. Of course, this had to be done while Albert was away from his cell. I'm surprised he never found out about it, pal. We have strict timetables here at the prison. Meal times, exercise times. It's easy to know when he's away from his cell. And since the little Rocky is afraid of Dojin's dogs, I didn't have to worry about him making noise. So having a full knowledge of the prison's inner workings, she made the deliveries herself. This would have endured there was no slip-ups. Frankie would turn the breakers back on in the early morning when the delivery was complete. Then I modified the timestamps on the security cameras. You have told us a great deal. The goddess of law accepts your penitent confession. As the warden of this prison, how could I do such a foolish thing? The day Knightley was killed, it was also a delivery day. It seems Frankie was working in the breakers as usual. But that day I had nothing to send, and I didn't go to the courtyard at all. The secret of the supply system. So Warden Rolando was. The police have been searching for Dogen's henchmen for ages. I've also been helping them, but I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but no matter how much evidence we have on him, we can't get a single word out of him. So the reason you kept interrogating him, yes, it was to find his henchmen. Oh, that. I borrowed all the evidence from the police and carried out the interrogation myself. I kept an eye on all of his actions, examined all of his mail, like his correspondence and chess letters. But I could never uncover the true identity of his henchmen. This fear, it's something you can never understand. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you were listening, right? I say this confession clears the warden of all suspicions. I beg to differ. Is it really necessary to press her further than this? It is necessary to press further. Press further! Judge Courtney, my questioning isn't over yet. I'm sure the goddess of law isn't satisfied yet either. You mean to badger this woman further? Even if she was threatened by Dojin. This does not prove she was not the culprit in this case. She was able to use the supply route to transport Knightley's body. Do you have any evidence to support this? The body gave off a sweet scent. The scent of perfume that was to signify a delivery. Can you explain this fact? Oh, of course. Since I had made so many deliveries, the scent would linger around at the well. When the body was moved to the well, the scent would have transferred to it. Mr. Albert also testified to this fact. gave off a nice scent. A nice scent. I don't know what it is, but smelled sweet like candy. The lingering scent from the well would, of course, be picked up by anything passing through. Ugh. The defense rests. The defense rests, I see. In that case, the court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth! Isn't there anything we can do? What should I do? Is this as far as I can go? Is it over already? Yes, Sebastian, it is. And now the court is officially adjourned. Alright, who's yelling hold it this time? Who was that? It was but Uncle Ray! It's not nice of you to adjourn things just like that, Courtney Pie. Mr. Shields, are you objecting to the court's adjourning? Of course not. I ain't got no objection or anything. I ain't got no objection or anything like that. He yelled hold it after all. Go ahead and adjourn court. Do whatever you like. Hey, what are you doing, Mr. Shields? Oh, there. Come down, okay? Who wants some chocolate? Is this a joke? Yes, excuse me. I just have one tiny request to make. As Simon Key's attorney. That's right. You are the defense attorney in charge of this case, aren't you? Exactly. Did you all forget? So that means... But you just left everything to Mr. Edgeworth and didn't do anything at all. Yeah, that's right. That's why. I thought I'd do my job a bit. Do your job? That hardly sounds like you at all. It's to prepare for the trial. I'd like to ask the warden a few questions. Surely you jest. What more do you expect to hear from her? Well, Miss Warden, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the culprit. My thoughts? Uncle Ray believes that Simon is not the culprit. It seems that Miss Warden also suspects someone other than Simon. I'd like to hear you out. Mr. Edgeworth, what's Mr. Shields up to? He's trying to lure Mr. Warden into testifying. Why was the supply route used to transport the body? I say it was to pin the crime on Dojin. Ah, I see! If he committed a murder here, he would be transferred to another prison. Ah, and there's our motive. Of course, with one with tighter security. And that would get rid of the troublemaker. Exactly. She wouldn't pass up a chance like that. Hey, hold on a second. A culprit besides Simon? What do you mean? Simon was the one I was supposed to prosecute! That's what he sounds like to me. He's just like a little crybaby. I love him. He's precious. But, yeah, he does sound like a bit of a crybaby. Exactly. So wouldn't it be better if the best also listened to what she has to say? Amazing, Mr. Shields. You managed to drag out Mr. DeBest into this too. Warden Rolanda, is this acceptable? Oh, it's fine. It's fine. You understand a woman's heart. Thank you, Metasolios. Actually, I thought this is over, and I'd like to tell you my thoughts. You just let me speak, won't you, Justine darling? Of course, you may speak. Mr. Shields, awesome! Phew, that was a close strafe. Thank you, Mr. Shields. Nah, I'm still leaving the rest to you. Remember what I said? A defense attorney never gives up. The fate of our client rested on our shoulders, after all. It's not cool if Uncle Ray didn't put that into practice. Now then, Miles, it's your turn to show you'll never give up. Right. Well then, will you listen to my story? I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dojin. I have no idea what transpired between Dojin and the victim. It simply could have been that Dojin was displeased with him, and any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. He probably had the dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. The victim, Mr. Knightley, was it? I think it was a truly terrible thing. Taking a man's life, you mean? That's how you go about saying it, isn't it? If only I'd been more vigilant, his death would not have happened. That's why I wanted to clear up his regrets. Warden Rolanda, how considerate. I'm sure Mr. Knightley in heaven is overflowing with gratitude. Is gratitude really what Knightley feels? You seem very confident of that. How can you be so sure? As the children of this home are all good little boys and girls. I believe in yourself and believe in your friends and believe in me and the guards. There's no way any of these hard-working children could commit a murder. Quite an emotional reason. Makes sense coming from someone like her. Only Dojin is capable of something like that. I had no idea what Trident. Natalie was being held in the detention center and Dojin in the prison. They couldn't make any contact. Do you think that would prevent trouble? The prison is quite refined, do you right? There were many ways for them to meet. Natalie was murdered days before he would have been sentenced to prison. Surely there weren't many ways a meeting could have occurred. Even without a direct meeting, Dogen could still cause trouble. Mark my word. I could simply have. What could Natalie have done in the detention center to displease him? That's just an example. You didn't have to take it so seriously. Didn't I already say that I had no idea what transpired between them? Nevertheless, you certainly are a serious one at your oars, dear. What's this? That piercing glaze. Always standing straight and very stiff, very nice, looking very clever, my dear. I think about becoming your biggest fan. You're gonna have to fight, Wendy Oldbag for that title. Mr. Edgeworth, stay focused! Just a flesh wound! Right! Is this some sort of psychological warfare? In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the circumstances surrounding the murder. Well, I suppose it was a simple job. During his booking, I learned that the victim had some kind of injury to his neck. He couldn't turn his neck to the right. I remember him saying something like that. Booking. That's the process one undergoes before being locked up in the detention center. It sounds like you don't really know a lot about Knightley. I only know a little. In any case, he would have been an easy target for Dojin. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. The victim wouldn't even have a chance to scream. I see. Your opinion will be very valuable reference. Could you add those last statements to your testimony? Oh, you're making me blush. You're so cute. I'm just kidding. I'll continue. Perhaps he used that chisel hidden in the chessboard. The chessboard. The thing the victim brought with him. It seemed like he really enjoyed playing chess. How could I have guessed that chisel was hidden inside it? The chisel and the chessboard. That fact is only known by a select few people. This is the answer we arrived at for a reason after all. So then, why does she know about this? In Dojin's hands, even a chisel is enough to be used as a useful weapon. I'm sure it would have been a simple job. You certainly seem to hold strong feelings towards Dojin. That's just unnatural. Remember my interrogations? That man, no matter how much evidence we find, he still has a slippery as a snake. You got a lot of guts. That smoke look he has on his face when he returns to his cell. Look, just thinking about it makes my stomach turn. I sort of understand how you feel. You probably had a dog dispose of the body, is the truth of this case. Do you mean to say the dog threw the body into the well? Dojin has more than one dog, not just that black one, you know. Didn't I tell you? He has henchmen outside these walls as well. You mean his henchmen outside this wall aided him in this crime? Of course not. They would have been caught by the security gates. But think about it. Wasn't he the supplier? It's not hard to think that he had dogs in the prison too. Oh, well, why don't you tell me the names of those so-called dogs? If I knew that, I wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. In any case, it's still possible to and please try to consider it. She's dodging the question. Can I pursue this line of questioning any further? Warden Rolando's testimony is covered in lies. If I pick them apart one by one, her true colors will surely be revealed. Warden Rolanda, you certainly are sharp-witted. Hey, enough with the titles. Call me Patty. Patty. However, there's something you were a little too knowledgeable about. Ho ho ho! Embarrassed? You're such an inexperienced child, Etris dear. I'll have you know I have 4 years of defense of prosecuting under my belt. So objection, Your Honor. Oh wait, no shit. It wasn't Courtney speaking. Yeah. Fight on, Mr. Edgeworth. You say you didn't really know much about Knightley. If that's the case, how did you know about the chisel inside the chessboard? Oh, of course, the entrance check. Enough with the poor excuses. The entrance check. The chessboard wasn't something Knightley brought with him. It was brought to him later by Mr. Keith. He didn't even have it when he arrived here. That's my mistake. I meant the parcel check. Even if we assume that, there's so many suspicious points. Why wasn't such a chisel immediately confiscated? Ah! Judge Courtney, did you tell anyone about the trick to the chessboard? I did not. If no information about our investigation was leaked, then how did you find out? How could you you could not have examined during the entrance check of the parcel check. Certainly, someone in the warden's position would never let a chisel slip by. Exactly. So answer this, Warden Rolanda. When and how did you learn about the chessboard's secret? In that case, I shall answer for you. It's because... I give up, Edris, dear. It's as you say. I interrogated Knightley. That's how I learned about the chessboard. But please believe me, I didn't kill anyone. Enough. It would appear that we have uncovered some vital information. I ask you to testify once more, if that's all right with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. No objections here. Thank you, Edgeworth, dear. I'll do my best. Well then, Warden Rolanda, I trust that there will be no lies from here on out. Her pool's lies slowly running dry. Soon I'll bring out her true nature. I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. I always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. She's piling lies on top of lies, not realizing that it only tightens the noose around her neck. You speak with new prisoners, you say. That's right. I'm glad you understand. Your testimony is not solid evidence. It requires more than just understanding. Well then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination. You certainly are. You certainly interrogated him the day before the show. Yes, around 3 p.m. on the 27th. 3 at night. That matches the time of death on Knightley's autopsy report. You summoned him at the late at night, and he wasn't asleep. Well, a guard was attacked in Knightley's cell. Remember? After that incident, we checked his cell and inquired about the circumstances. I'm sure all the excitement made it hard to sleep. Knightley was wide awake, you know. So even though it was highly irregular, you still carried out this late night interrogation? Edgeworth dear, you're so mean. It may have been irregular, but the truth is that I had him moved. You can call it what you like, but it doesn't change the facts. Please excuse him. I'll give my incompetent apprentice a good scolding later. But for now, Mademoiselle, what do you mean you said you had him moved? I thought it was obvious, monsieur. I spoke to him in my office. Her office? The route she used to move Knightley's body. Please add that statement to your testimony. Oh, of course. Around 3 a.m., the day before the show, the victim was brought into my office. I'll be real with you, I just hit Q there. Not remembering that this is not my normal Ace Attorney games where I have it on Steam, but I will come September 6th when the collection comes out. I already have it pre-ordered. And where is your office located exactly? You know that sign in the detention center hallway? You mean the one that says no entry? Yes, it's just a short walk up that aisle. About 5 minutes from the cell block. I heard that room exits into the courtyard. Of course, that side of the courtyard is my private garden. Oh, I get it. You're going to say I used that route to move the body. Indeed, you must have been able to use it. If you used that route. If not, that's a mere possibility. There's no decisive evidence to support it. But there's no other way the body could have been moved. Surely you cannot have forgotten my theory that Simon Keys dropped the body into the well. That's right. That's what she said. Pursuing this point further will be hazardous. I always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. What did you talk about? Well, indeed. It was just a trifling conversation. What kind of animals he liked, what his hobbies were, and that sort of thing. Hobbies? I assume he mentioned chess. Oh yes, that's all Knightley would ever talk about. Now that I think about it, the note he had in his room probably had something to do with chess too. The warden wall installed Knightley's note. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. And what was Knightley like during the investigation? He was very honest. Mr. Knightley was honest, pal. He also talked about a croissant and some kind of promo. And passant and chess piece promotions, I presume. No. I want to continue play. Looks like he was his usual chess-loving self. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. If he really returned to his cell, there's no way he would be a corpse now. You know, you're suggesting that I killed him during the interrogation, but I couldn't possibly have a motive to kill Knightley, could I? Token was the only one I hated, and he had no connection to the victim. She only hated Dogen. Please add that statement to your testimony. Do I just present the evidence that he had? The only way you hated was Dogen. Am I correct? Yes. Just threatening me and doing whatever he wants in this prison. That man, I will never forgive him. I will do whatever it takes to corner him. And his black dog, too. They aren't fit to live in my home. So she's brimming with hostility, even towards Dogen's dog. At first glance, it would seem that she has no motive for killing Knightley. However, her hostility extends to anyone connected to Dojin. If I consider that, the answer will naturally follow. She chats with the criminals. The warden sure is easygoing, sir. Easygoing. She killed one of the criminals, you know. Since the guy was handcuffed, it would have been a pretty one-sided affair. Warden Rolanda has to be the killer. I have faith in my reasoning so far. Objection! Judge Courtney, I'd like you to have a look at this. It looks like a record of a chess game. Is there something wrong with it? This was discovered in the victim's cell. It was Knightley's memo. Warden Rolanda, you also discovered this note in the very same place. And not just Knightley's cell, but in Dojin's too, correct? Well, what are you? Don't you say that you don't know about the chessboard and the special cell? After all, you would have kept an eye on Dojin's actions down to the smallest detail. No, to be more precise, it wasn't Dojin that you needed to keep an eye on. The warden was searching Mr. Dojin's henchman. From the start, I found it strange that the warden interrogated the prisoners personally, since he used his henchmen to threaten harm to her family. Warden Rolanda interrogated Dojin to expose them. So what are you saying? As you inspected Dojin's mail, you must have known that he played correspondence chess. Hug! And then Knightley appeared with a chess memo in hand. We deduced that he and Dogen were connected. You must have arrived at the same conclusion as well. However, you were one step too far in your reasoning. You thought Knightley was one of Dojin's henchmen who had come to kill you. So that's why you interrogated Knightley, boy. But the boss weren't so cracked to go after his henchmen. In addition, you discovered that something when you were interrogating him. Inside his chessboard, you found a portable chessel. The murder weapon! To Warden Rolanda, the chessel was a symbol of Dogen, and that was the final straw. You believe Knightley was one of Dojin's henchmen, and you killed him. It seems there will be no rebuttal. Judge Courtney, your verdict. Though it is incredibly unfortunate, there seems to be no room for doubt. I shall announce my verdict. For the murder of Horson Knightley. Alright, who's yelling objection now? Twice my scarred verdict has been interrupted. Who was that? Warden Rolanda. How strange. You guys really don't understand anything. It would seem the one who doesn't understand is you. Me? Oh, I understand one thing very well. There's a huge contradiction in your logic, Edgeworth. Huh? Once she's cornered, she stops spewing nonsense. Pay no heed. Judge Courtney, your verdict. I am interested to hear what the warden has to say. What? I thought so, just as I had one thing I wanted to say. One? Please take a good look at this obstery report. The obstery report? The one I brought with me? I heard exactly what you said earlier, Justine darling. You said that the wound was 4 inches deep. 4 inches? No way. Could that tiny chisel really have made a wound 4 inches deep? Ha! Impossible! How could I made such an error? Oh, forgive me, goddess of law. Well, I believe that overturns your hypothesis. What will you do now, Mr. Edgeworth? What will he do? It's all right, pal. Mr. Edgeworth, always. I got nothing. Whoa, hey now. He's gone all white. Hey, you're a defense attorney, aren't you? Is there something you can do, pal? Do that turnabout thing! Make the earth-shattering objection! Calm down, Gumshoe. He's not a certain defense attorney, okay? Who will lose his attorney's badge in about a month. Uncle Ray is a hard worker, but without decisive evidence, we're just a whipping a dead horse here. Does that mean it's hopeless? The true killer was Warden Rolanda. If it's not her, then nothing that has happened fits. But the chisel isn't the murder weapon. Are there any other sharp objects here? There are still many mysteries remaining in this case. However, we do not have the evidence to solve them at this present time. We have no choice but to continue this battle in the courtroom. That would just give the killer a chance to destroy the evidence. Are you mocking the court? No. I don't mean anything like that. You look pretty perplexed, Miles. Thought of anything yet? The chisel's not the murder weapon. In that case, what is? It's no use. We're back to where we started. No objections, Prosecutor Edgeworth? By the way, any baseless statement will be punished by accordingly. It's no good. I can't think of anything. I need more time. I regret to say, I have no. Alright, who yelled objection hold it this time? No, Mr. Edgeworth. Remember what Mr. Shields said. If we give up, Simon will. Have you forgotten what that sad look on his face? He was the only one who suffered from Knightley's. He was the only one who. He's the one who suffered most from Knightley's death. If we can't save him, who will? Besides, Simon believes in us, so we can't give up. Okay, Miles, looks like you found your good partner. It's like little Kay says, whenever you're backed into a corner, think of your client. Keep fighting until the very end. Isn't that the feeling you're getting? Gregory, your old man, no matter what trouble he faced, he would always turn things around and save his client. But what about, like, right before Duel starts? I mean, and also, like, Edgeworth should see this multiple times because of a certain defense attorney who we shall not be naming in this stream until we're done with this game. You got his blood in you, right? In that case, you're the only one who can turn this around. Judge Courtney, the look in your eyes has suddenly changed. If you do intend to speak, you better be prepared to face the consequences. Your logic thus far has been misplaced numerous times. If this were to happen again, I will consider you unfit to call yourself a prosecutor, and you will hand over your badge. That's right. My reasoning about this case has indeed been misplaced numerous times. Have I made a grave miscalculation? Wait, my logic is misplaced? Still silence. I cannot condone this waste of time. Well, then, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. I will announce my verdict. That's it. I have to turn my logic around. My logic isn't misplaced. It's been misled. The court finds the defendant, Simon Keyes. Isn't it a little too early to hand down a verdict? I actually think it's rather late. Don't you agree, Justine darling? Enlighten us. What? Try to remember the eyewitness account about his dog and his absence from the animal show. When I first heard that information, my suspicions immediately fell on Dojin. I'm amazed you take such pride in retelling your previous failings. But was that not the killer's aim? What if we assume that that was their intention from the start? Of course, the chisel reserved for the same purpose. Netley's body was stabbed in the same spot with multiple sharp objects. This shows that he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon was removed. By soaking the chisels in Knightley's blood, the killer wanted us to mislead us into thinking the chisel was the murder weapon. Why? That's because. Why did the killer want us to think the chisel was the murder weapon? Warden Laronda, you made use of this chisel's image. Chisel? Image? What are you trying to say? Mr. DeBest, when you see this chisel, what does it suggest to you? Something like, Dojin is the killer, right? Now, do you understand? Well, that was the warden's aim. Ah! She wanted us to suspect the person with the chisels! Indeed, that's her plan from the very beginning. To make certain Dogen out to be the killer. I understand your logic. It is true that the warden did not think kindly of Dojin. But you understand, don't you? This alone does not prove she is the killer. As I thought, it's not enough. The remaining chance is for me to find the real murder weapon. If you have no more evidence, I believe this conversation is over. I could prove it if I found the real murder weapon. It doesn't matter what you say. We did a clean sweep of the place. It is as Sebastian says. In the end, we cannot find any weapons. Other words, the proof is impossible. No, the murder weapon must be still somewhere in the prison. As long as this exists. The security gate? You remember the name after all. Are you mocking me? It's because of those things that you can't take metal objects in or out of this place. Ah! Right. As long as those security gates exist, the murder weapon should still be here. That also means no weapon could have been brought into this prison. In the end, we're back to the same mystery after all. Judge Courtney. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Surely you realize, if the real murder weapon is still in the prison, one must also consider how it got there in the first place. The chisel was concealed within the chessboard. But the chisel is not the real murder weapon, which means the real murder weapon must have been smuggled in somehow. The way it was smuggled in. Can you prove that? How will the weapon went into the prison? You had evidence transferred from the prison? Yes, we borrowed it. All the evidence according to Dojin. The murder weapon was his knife. That's it! She could have used that! This shows another way the murder weapon could have been brought into the prison. Yesterday, Johnson said this. Yes, My fellow elves, there are only two of them in the world. Only two? They're custom made, attached to my knife and Ambius' cup. Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Alas, only one has been confiscated and is not in my possession. It's possible the murder weapon was brought in as confiscated evidence. Dushin's knife was confiscated and stored in the premises. Furthermore, a bell was attached to the knife. It can't be! The bell had that chisel. Exactly. The killer took it from the knife and reattached it to the chisel. But the only fingerprints on the chisels are Knightley's. The killer probably wore gloves when they made the switch. She made the chisel out to be the murder by attaching it to Delgin's bell. In order to doing so, it made Delgin's bell appear to be the culprit. Furthermore, the handling of the set of evidence that this bell originally belonged to was only possible for someone with the proper authority. Who, sir? Who had that authority? Why don't we ask the warden what she thinks? You can't find the bells anywhere. Anyone would have attached it, right? I see. So you don't know. These bells are Dojin's trademarks. There are only two of them in the world. What? What? And so attaching the bells would naturally make you the killer. Do you have evidence that I have the knife? You don't, do you? Of course, I understand. In that case, Mr. DeBest, I would like to request an investigation immediately. But if you find it problematic for me, that doesn't matter now. It's necessary that we reveal the truth. You are a prosecutor, are you not? Well, even if you say that, curse this useless prosecutor. If only I had still investigation rights. Besides, we can't investigate without the warden's permission, right? There's no way she would approve. We have no choice but to investigate ourselves. If you don't have evidence, there is no use in continuing this conversation. The goddess of law does not smile upon those who have no evidence. This will have to be continued in the courtroom. No, not good. If we give the warden more time here, she'll definitely destroy the evidence. It seems like I have no choice but to raise an objection and stall for time. The true defense attorney nature. But I don't have anything definite that is that really acceptable? Is it really like me to do something like this reckless? No, not good. Now's not the time for hesitation. Right now, I'm not a prosecutor, but an attorney's assistant. I need to protect my client. I'm the only one who can save him now. In that case, objection! Even if it's a 1 in a million chance, I have to take it. It's a sink or swim. Should I raise an objection? When in doubt, raise an objection! It almost feels like I've turned to... It almost feels like I turned into a certain puppet. How many times have I made a reference to the said certain bluffing defense attorney? Remember, we do not speak of said certain bluffing defense attorney's name. But right now, I can't come to a standstill here. Hold it! Prosecutor Edgeworth. What now? I just realized something. What would that be? Pray tell. Naturally, whereabouts of the real murder weapon? Dogen's knife. Mr. Edgeworth, is that really true? Yes, though it is a lie. I find it hard to believe that this isn't a bluff. This isn't a bluff, is it? You underestimate me. The word bluff does not exist in my dictionary. It does now, bitch! This is bad for my heart. There's no way you can know, because such a thing doesn't even exist! Well then, could you enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon? Think. Somewhere in the police didn't look. A blind spot in this animal-filled prison. A hiding place that Warden could be completely confident in. Hiding place. Come to think of it. It'd be inevitable. Ambitus, show them your mouse. The same method. No, it couldn't be, could it? Allie! Allie's hiding the Something reacted when the metal detector! When in doubt, the metal detector saves all! It didn't turn about goodbyes, and it will here again. But there aren't that many ways to hide things from investigators' eyes. It's possible, but I'm taking a bit of gamble here. Here, in the courtyard? Indeed. That's not enough information. Please show us in more detail. Where's the real murder weapon hiding? Hi, Allie! That's it. Back then. Huh? What's the matter, detective? Looks like the metal detector is reacting to this alligator. Really? Why? Of course, that's why the metal detector reacted. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to take a look at this. The chisel. Wasn't that just a big murder weapon? Dojin hid the chisel inside his dog's mouth. And the real murder weapon was hidden in a very much the same way. The real murder weapon is in the pond, inside the alligator. What? What? We can confirm that the metal detector reacted to the alligator. Judge Courtney, please have the inside the alligator examined. I give my consent. Well, we'll have to call a veterinarian. I can make that little girl open her mouth. Can I help? Yes, go ahead. Warden Rolanda. Discovering the real murder weapon will settle this matter once and for all. Why don't you do the honorable thing and just confess now? What would I have to confess? In that case, you can just wait for your fate to be sealed. We found it, sir! Just where you said it would be! It's over. For Trista Rolanda, the real murder weapon was none other than Dojin's knife. And the one who murdered Horan Snicely can only be you. Dojin was the evil one. I didn't do anything wrong! I was completely reasonable. The guy was one of Dojin's henchmen. Him. If only he'd never come to my home. I could at least be still happy. My special paradise. He ruined it! All of it! Him! That no good assassin! Him! They were all animals. March 28th, detention center, hallway. Mr. the Beast, Mr. the Best, of the best, we have the results. The best of the best. Looks like even the forensics officers have it tough. We found traces of Knightley's blood on the Dojin's knife. It was just as you said. You're the best, Mr. the Best. Alright, good job, but don't stop there. Keep up the praise coming. Yes, sir, you are so incredible, it brings tears to my eyes. For sorrow. Well done, Sebastian. Next comes the follow-up investigation. Huh? What are you talking about, Jessie? Hasn't the case been solved already? We have not yet confirmed if Knightley truly was the one of Imogen's henchman. There is also a chance that Warden Lorenda jumped to conclusions. That's the remaining uncertainty of this case. Anyways, let's keep investigating. Hey, you there, come with me. Since I'm the best, the truth will before me first. When that moment arrives, you make sure you don't miss it. Yes, sir, I'm looking forward to witnessing your first-rate ability. Let's go! We live in troubling times, wouldn't you agree? The would-be assassin of the president was found murdered in the prison. Knightley had no plan to assassinate the president. The truth is not as vital as you seem to believe. Not to the world, and not to the law. That can't be right. Believe in what you will. However, as long as Prosecutor Edgeworth remains a prosecutor, it is an unescapable reality. A prosecutor is not someone who demands a guilty verdict. That is what I believe. Those are merely your values. The law is not a plaything of any one person. If you will not submit to that, you will prepare for the consequences. What's that supposed to mean, pal? Don't tell me you're gonna. Now then, this is where I must take my leave, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Judge Courtney is right. The law should not serve any one person's desires. However, if the truth is bent as a result of that, can that really be called justice? Simon! Boss! What happened? They said you could come out already? Well, honestly, I don't know for sure. All of a sudden, they were like, you're free to go, and you should thank Mr. Edgeworth. Well, that's because he found out who the real murderer was. Really? He did? Mr. Edgeworth? No way! You should glare at me like that. It's useless. I'm innocent after all. You can't make me guilty. Simon, you should thank him, you know. You're right. Thank you very much. I want to thank you too. Good grief. Mr. Defense Attorney, can I ask you just one more question? Yes, you may, but I'm not a defense attorney. I thought that Knightley and I were friends. No, I mean best friends. I always thought we were. You don't think so anymore? Well, I'm just wondering if there's something I had no idea about, like how he could hate someone enough to kill them. Like, that's why maybe he never trusted me either. Simon, that's not true. You're lying, because if I had known, I could have stopped him. He told me that I would have told him he had no need to be angry with anyone. Mr. Keith, I don't think he disliked you either. Let's show him proof that Knightley trusted him. Could it be the chessboard? I think it's the chessboard. I'm going to show the chessboard. And that's what I gave to. Knightley had a chisel inside it, most likely to aid in his escape. Escape! He used me. He trusted in you. He knew you'd bring it to him without looking into it and without question. And just doing that, you were caught up in everything. Tyler, you idiot! Looks like he gets it. Simon's not as dumb as he looks after all. I'm sure he's just back to. He'll be back to normal by tomorrow. Was that supposed to be a compliment? Oh, he's strong. I'll become a splendid wild animal tamer for Niley's sake. Excellent. That's the spirit. It seems like money's doing more of the controlling now. I almost forgot. If you'd like, please come to our next show. I'll also be performing in it. The Very Big Circus is always fabulous and fun for all ages. Wow, that sounds like fun. Let's go, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I'll think about it. Well, we need to get back to practicing right away. You'll be with Sir Renjit today. What? The tiger? No way, no way, no way! He'll be fine. He's a good boy. No way. There's no way he'll be fine. Yeah, let's not forget about what happened like a year and a half ago at the Very Big Circus. Please get me a praying balls! And there you go. But man, bravo, bravo. You really put on a good show today, Miles. It's all thanks to you, Mr. Shields. Without your help, she might have gotten away. Not to mention allowing us to continue the investigation. Oh man, cut it out already. You got me going blush. I never know when you're being serious. Uncle Ray's always been serious. So how was it, Miles? How did it feel to be a defense attorney? To save people. A defense attorney. But it really took me back. It was just like being next to your old man again. Haha, it's been a while since I felt this good. It was, well, it's somewhat difficult to say it was a good thing. Come on, Miles. Are you sure you don't want to be a defense attorney? What? You know, pick up where your father left off. So you want to save people like he did? What are you talking about, pal? Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecutor. But is that really unnatural for a prosecutor to become a defense attorney these days? I mean, we've seen the other way around, where a defense attorney became a prosecutor. Godot! Unusual isn't the problem here. Hey, don't be so upset. It's normal, you know? Normal. It's not normal, pal! Y'all making for a powerful defense team. Mr. Shields, I'm a prosecutor, and Uncle Ray is a defense attorney. That's why I'm being serious about this. Well, that's just my opinion. Feel free to drop by anytime you have a chance to change of heart. I'll be waiting for you. Follow in my father's footsteps? Well, I know that's not to be true. Or is it? I don't know! I don't know the plot of Dual Destiny! I didn't know Edgeworth's role in Dual Destiny! Me. Become a defense attorney. I'm going to become a defense attorney just like my dad! Oh, he hot. Should I become a defense attorney? Like my father? But we will figure out that question next time on Thursday when we start the Inherited Tournament. Yes, absolutely fucking sorry. We don't need a repeat of last time. Or when we'll continue more Ace Attorney investigations next week. Because, of